Dear all, on behalf of Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you for the 16th episode of Optometry series. Thank you for your continued support. I would like to welcome my team members, Ms. Meenakshi and Ms. Anushka. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. So I would like to ask you, so what is today's topic and who's our moderator?
Okay, thank you so much, Gomathi. Today's moderator is Mr. B. Seetharaman. He is an assistant professor from Sri Jayendra Institute of Optometry, and I know him, I think, way back from 2005. So he's actually worked on construction of a visual acuity and a contrast acuity chart. Currently, also, he's guiding one of the students to develop a digital contrast sensitivity chart. So for this particular topic, how the charts have evolved and why do we need different kind of charts, I think he would have been the best person. Over to you, Gomati.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. So we are very happy to have Seetharaman sir today. Hi, sir. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Yes, Miss.
Thank you, Gomati, for having me.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Miss Jennifer. I request Miss Jennifer to introduce the moderator.
Yes, ma'am. A warm welcome to one and all who joined us today on YouTube for this exciting episode. I'm Jennifer of third year and also the member of multimedia team at Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry. I'm happy in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to our distinguished moderator, Mr. Seetharaman, with an impressive academic and professor background. Our moderator completed his undergraduate studies at the Elite School of Optometry in 2009. He furthered his education by completing his postgraduate from the Sri Jayendra Saraswati Institute of Optometry in 2019. Throughout his career, he had graced several renowned institutions with his expertise. His contribution to the field of optometry and ophthalmic care have been invaluable. He had served as a consultant optometrist at both Shankara Nethralaya and Narayana Nethralaya. Currently, our moderator is a promote figure at the Sri Jayendra Saraswati Institute of Optometry. While he continues to inspire and shape the future of budding optometrists, passing on his extensive knowledge and experience to the next generation of professionals. His field of interest spans a wide range of critical areas within optics, binocular vision, and pediatric. Ms. Seetharaman has made significant contributions to the field of optometry and ophthalmic care. We honor you to have with us today, sir. The presenter for today, Ms. Shifana Parveen, fellow optometrist at Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry, and he worked in Dr. Agarwal's High Hospital. Ms. Shifana, please continue your presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Ms. Shifana, please start the presentation, Kana.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shifana Parveen, doing my fellowship at Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry. Now I'm going to present my presentation now. Evaluation and design of visual acuity charts, distance and near. Evaluation design of visual acuity chart. Introduction. In 1843, vision test types are invented by the German ophthalmologist Heinrich Kulcher in Darmstadt, Germany. In 1862, Hermann Snellen, a Dutch ophthalmologist, publishes the first visual chart based on optotype and need for standardized vision test. In 1888, Edmund Landlord introduced the broken ring Landlord ring chart. These are the charts now I have explained here. Now in 1894, Theodor Werthim in Berlin presents detailed measurements of acuity in peripheral vision. These are the diagrams. These are peripheral vision. To understand periphery and central vision, here it's a central part and it's a periphery part. In central, it includes cones, and in periphery there are rods are involved. In 1978, Hugh Taylor uses this design principle for a tumbling E-chart for illiterates. In 1982, Rick Ferris et al. Of the National Eye Institute chooses the landmark chart layout implemented with Sloan letters to establish a standardized method of visual acuity measurement for the early treatment of diabetic retinopathy study, ETDRS.
1 minute, Shifana. Anjana, you're asked to mute.
Angela, please mute. Continue, Shifana. Okay. In 1984, the International Council of Ophthalmology also approved a visual acuity measurement standard. In 1988, Antonio Medina and Bradford Howland also developed a novel eye testing chart using letters that become invisible with decreased acuity rather than blurred as in standard charts. These are the charts, logma chart and the P chart. Visual acuity. Measurement of visual acuity is the first and important step in the management and treatment of visual problems. It's defined as resolving power of the eye, expressed as the reciprocal of the minimum angle of in 1 minute of arc. Now, components of visual acuity: minimum visible, resolution, recognition, and minimum discriminable. Now, minimal visible to it's here NEH. There no detect the presence of an object, and if its resolution means it's to discriminate separate objects, which is between N and H. A recognition, ability to discriminate spatial characters and identify the patterns. Minimum discriminable, spatial distinction by an observer when threshold is lower than the normal acuity. And construction, it is constructed under 5 cross 5 grid, specified in terms of angular size of the gap for the smallest size letter indicator. Target size for the gap subtending 1 minute of arc is determined as tan theta is equal to x by d, which is x is height and d is distance. For example, if a target of 6 meter means tan theta is equal to x by 6, and these are the formula and the sums. And this is a difference between clear and non-clear. Horizontal spacing is equal to 2 letter size, non-standardized character spacing. Vertical spacing is equal to height of lower line, non-standardized line spacing. Same number of letters per line, non-standardized letters per line. Geometric progression of line size 0.1 log units, variable line size progression. Sloan required for clinical research, ETDRS, Snellen Serif optotype long ago, absolutely designed in 1862. Visual acuity for different age groups, and these are the age and approximate Snellen's acuity chart. Then classification of age groups: pre-verbal children 0 to 2 years of age, preschool children greater than 2 to 5 years of age, and school children greater than 5 to 16 years of age. Pre-verbal kids, fixation test, monocular and binocular. In monocular, we have to check quality, location, duration. In quality, it should be good, fair, poor. Location, central versus eccentric. In duration, maintained versus sporadic. And GCM, CSM or FF. GCM means gross centered maintenance. CSM means centered steady maintenance. Binocular, fixation preference. It's in vertical prism. And optokinetic nystagmus drum. This is the drum principle. Minimum separable, successive black and white strips, establish presence or absence of vision. And PLT, teller acuity card, 16 cards. In that 16 cards, one should be blank and others should be in 15 square wave gratings. Testing distance. For infants, it should be 38, and toddlers, it should be 55 centimeter. Cardiff acuity, testing distance for in 50 centimeter or 100 centimeter, 10 acuity level, 6 by 7.5 to 6 by 120. 3 cards in each acuity level. Endpoint. Movement of the eye should be up or down. This is Leah paddle chart. Preschool kids, Leah symbols, Hallen's card, Sheridan's Gardiner test, Leah symbol, matching test, 4 symbol, circle, square, apple, house, tested normally at 3 meter. Allen's card, 7, 4 cross 4 white cards, line drawing, naming. It should be named or matched, one eye at a time. Acuity measured as a fraction, size constant, distance varied. HOTV card, size of letters 6 by 6 to 6 by 60. Pointing or matching should be at 6 meters. Distance, constant, size of letter varied. School kids. For school kids, Snell and Tumbling A, Landlord C, Lockmark chart. Other available charts: Bob Candy Beats, Cat Food Drum Test, Dot Visual Acuity Test, Cat Food Drum Test. Now, near charts, testing near and intermediate vision. The distance used for near vision testing may vary according to the work or occupation of the patient. Testing distance of 25, 30, 33, 35, 40 centimeter are commonly used. 33 centimeter is most common. Charts for testing near vision include the reduced Snellen, Lockmore near vision chart, test Times New Roman continuous text chart, Jaggers near vision chart, and M notation chart. These are the charts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shifana. That was a wonderful presentation. Now, I request our moderator, Mr. Seetharaman sir, to kindly share his insights in the presentation.
That was a pretty sweet presentation that the student had. When it comes to near vision notation, Shifana, can you go to the near vision charts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Among the near vision charts, the one that has been found to be much more clinically significant is the M notation chart, which can be interconverted, but we are more comfortable in using the Times New Roman chart or reduced Snellen chart. We generally write with the N notation chart or with the reduced Snellen 6 by 6 chart. But if we can start using the M notation chart, it will give us much more detailed information clinically. And as we were going through the presentation regarding the various kinds of distance vision chart and pediatric charts that we had, clinical interpretation is what becomes the crux over here, not just what the patient is trying to respond, connecting it with the patient's symptoms is what is going to matter. The preferential looking test that our student was sharing here, it has 3 testing distances. 2 of them were mentioned, 38 centimeter and 5 centimeter. It can even be used at a distance of 84 centimeters. The manufacturer themselves, they provide the visual acuity levels that can be there. Shifana, can you show the preferential looking test? Yes, so infants 38, toddlers 55, there is an 84 centimeter as well. And depending on the testing distance, the visual acuity levels also change. The same chart, when tested from different distances, will yield a different visual acuity level. So if for the same patient, we are using the same chart at different distances, the angular subtone changes, so naturally the acuity level will also change. The longer the distance, the acute will be the vision that we need to keep. And I see quite a few questions here in the chat, if I'm not wrong. How to construct a logma chart? Okay. How do we say logmar is accurate? Okay. Construction of a logmar is pretty tedious job. It has certain calculations that needs to be kept in mind. So as it has been shown here, the grid pattern for creation of the alphabets needs to be taken into consideration. We can use Photoshop. Now we have a lot of editing tools available, but when the charts were initially constructed, they had to really sit and work out the print paper matrix. Now we have digital formats of the same charts that are available, but the construction is pretty much similar, having the 5x5 grid pattern. Okay. And as the formula has been given here, depending on different instances, the height of the letter will vary. So we can construct n number of charts accordingly. It can even be based on other language charts also. We have got a few local language logma charts available, and they have been cross-verified. There has been a study that has been done from Shankar Netralaya regarding 7 different Indian language logma charts. And when it comes to which chart is accurate for distance and near, somebody has asked a question over here. Accuracy depends, it's a subjective procedure. Patient has to respond. So again, whenever any subjective procedure is taken into account, it depends on what the patient understands. The more clear the explanations are, preferably logma chart is what is accepted to be the norm, as it is more scientific. It is much more robust in its procedure. But conventionally, people still follow the Snellen's chart. It is better. For near, as I say, we can go with the M notation chart, but conventionally, we still follow the Times New Roman N notation chart. I think that answers most of the questions.
Thank you, sir. We also have some questions in the YouTube. I will
Yes.
read it for you, sir. First
Please.
thing, how long does a visual acuity assessment take place for a kid?
Depends on the kid, but preferably we need to have a large window period. If it is infant or a toddler, it might take anywhere between 5 minutes to half an hour time also. But the average time period would be anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. The child has to respond. What procedure we are going to use also matters. Okay. And most of the information that we get is going to be objective. So the longer we observe the child, the better we will have information regarding the kid.
Thank you, sir. Second question is, what objects can be used in CSM method?
Sorry.
What objects can be used in central study and maintain method, sir? The next one is, how do we test vision for just
Sorry,
born
the
kids?
question was not audible. Can you ask again?
Yeah, sir.
Just
What
born-
object?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, just now.
How do we test vision for just born kids?
Just born kids, generally, they do not even tend to have fixation, but they might respond to the presence and absence of light. Any light that is very bright or stimulating enough, the child might tend to close its eyes, which will give us an idea whether the child is having a responsive retina or not.
Thank you so much, sir. As you
Yes.
see in the Zoom, there is one more question. What objects can be used for CSM?
Preferably detailed small objects can be used that will have different shapes. Even small colored objects could also be used, or colored toys can be used. The smaller the object, it gives us much more better detail regarding the acuteness of the vision. But if the child is not responding to smaller objects, we can go with the larger.
Yeah, thank you, sir. For clinically, the students to understand what all we start doing when the kid comes inside the clinic.
See, practically more it's related to how we are observing the kid's movement, how is it walking with the parents or with the guardian, whom it is coming inside, how is the child sitting, how is the child viewing us when we are asking question. All these are going to be information regarding how the child's vision is and how its performance is going to be. Generally, we think of visual system as a sensory system, but it's not so. It is a sensory motor system. We use vision to perform most of our activities. So application oriented vision is what we have. Okay. So we start from there, and doing any of the procedures that have been mentioned over here. followed by a refraction and followed by evaluation of their ocular structures would be the norm. And it will differ from practice to practice and hospital to hospital. They will have their own protocols which they follow. But since these kids are going to be meeting the optometrist for the very first time, it is also preferable that they be handled with care. The first impression is what is going to take the child throughout the hospital procedures. So we need to remember that. Any other questions
Thank
that I
you.
can take?
That's it. So we didn't get any questions in the YouTube or Zoom.
Thank you. Thank you, Rich.
Just a minute, sir. Sorry. Is there any other way to assess the presence of vision? One more question from YouTube.
Okay. Presence and absence of vision can be seen with the way the eye is responding, how the reflexes are. Okay, when we shine light, okay, whether is there a pupillary response, is there a blink movement? Now it depends on what kind of patients we are checking the presence and absence of vision. We can also check for the Menon's reflex, wherein we are taking the hand closer without providing any other tactile sensation to the face or any other facial structures. If the eye is closing automatically for the nearness of objects, it tells us that yes, there is a reflexive closure of eyes for closeness of object. There is some kind of vision that is present. Apart from that, clinically, if you really want to measure, then you can shine a very bright light. Indirect ophthalmoscope tends to be the brightest light source that we have, which is still not harmful to the eyes, that we can use for checking the presence and absence of perception of light.
Thank you, sir. Anshi ma'am, do you have any questions, ma'am?
Yes, thank you, Shifana, and thank you, Seetharaman, for such a detailed presentation. So, Shifana, as you see, has spoken a lot about the different charts that are available, and you brought about the importance of the notations, like for near about M notation and the clinical interpretation. So, one more important thing, Seetharaman, that I would like you to focus on is the documentation. So, how many ever charts we have? Why and how is documentation very important? If you could just focus on the documentation of visual acuity for these children here.
Yes, that is of course required depending on what kind of charts they are using, which was not probably covered, because when visual acuity charts are being handled, it's generally understood that they know how to document. If it is a 6-meter notation or a feet notation, or are they going to convert it from feet to meters or meters to feet? It was pretty much told that 6x6 is what they are expecting. Sometimes when they skip lines, see that's what when she was showing the differences between Snellen and Logmar, where Logmar has individual letter score and Snellen does not have that, wherein misinterpretation can happen while documenting. So care needs to be taken regarding it. Okay, so it's a give or take situation that we can, but yes, they need to document distance. Then when it comes to the procedure of visual acuity itself, then pinhole visual acuity needs to be documented. The working distance for near needs to be documented with correction, without correction, with contact lenses needs to be taken into account. There are a lot of factors when it comes to documentation. I think that should be a topic on itself. Documentation of visual
Yes.
acuity, post-operative, pre-operative.
Yes, that maybe we could take it up sometime later. So why I brought this about was when we have so many charts coming up, the students should also know, we all also should take care about how we are documenting it. If you're using a logmar chart, we shouldn't write in Snellen notation. If you're writing in Snellen notation, and if we have to document it in logmar, we should know what the conversions are. So the time and amount of information that we are going to get from a patient about his visual acuity status, the documentation plays the major role. because when somebody is going to read the file, it's going to be finally the documentation which is going to be seen by someone and might not always be the patient. It could be a follow-up, and where we are trying to see how the follow-up or how the change in visual acuity has been. So whenever we use any kind of visual acuity charts, it is very important that we also write whatever information that Seetharaman told about with and without glasses, pinhole acuity, which chart is being used, what is the convention that we are using. All this makes and plays a very important role in documenting for a patient.
Yes.
So any other questions, Gomati or Meenakshi?
Thank you.
Gomati, you're on mute.
Thank you, Anshika ma'am. Thank you, Seetharaman sir, for patiently answering all the questions on Zoom and on YouTube. Thank you so much. So, dear audiences, thank you all so much for joining. If you have any questions about the session, please put it on the comment box. We'll get back to you with the answers. The update about Dr. Agarwal's Institute of Optometry in this episode is we are open with the admissions. For admissions, please contact 97890-60444, the course coordinator. The admissions are open for bachelor's, master's in optometry, and also internship in optometry and fellowship in optometry. In fellowship, we have two different fellowships. One is clinical optometry fellowship, which is the duration of 1 year. And we have got research integrated fellowship, which is for 1 year and 6 months. And both fellowships have got stipend. So thank you all so much for joining. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Seetharaman. Thank you, everyone.